Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again. I'm going to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a discussion topic video, viewer requested. Want to talk about spoilers for those of you who have not seen the premiere for The Walking Dead Season 4. Turn off now, turn off now. Okay, that was your warning. Basically want to talk about the infection that somehow killed Patrick, how it's come from, and the pig, Violet, too. Where it's come from, how, and what it is. Let's talk about some different theories. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen my video predictions and video review for The Walking Dead Season 4 Episode 1 review and the predictions for Episode 2 Infected, you might want to check those out. A lot of thoughts about the overall episodes in those two. Now, this one in particular right here, we're just going to be focusing on what this new threat is. They've talked about it for a while, and now that we've seen the premiere, we finally know what it is they're talking about, where we see both Violet and we see Patrick, and both of them have become deathly ill from something and are basically dying or do die. So this is a tough one to call. Now, some people have just said that they believe that maybe it's just whatever everyone, because we know that in The Walking Dead, everyone is infected with something, and whenever they die, they will turn into a walker, regardless of whether or not they were bitten or scratched, or even if a person killed them, like with Shane, for example, when Rick stabbed Shane, we now know that they're all infected with something. So some people were thinking and discussing that possibly maybe it's just that same thing that is slowly killing people, or is, killing off weaker people, because Patrick did seem to be, kind of like weak. His hormones are probably pretty low. His immune system's probably not that great, that type of thing. I don't like the theory too much, because there was a heavy concentration in the first episode on water and leading us to look at the water. For example, the first one, Rick goes outside and he's farming. At the very beginning of the episode, what does he do? He looks down at the water and he splashes it on his face, and then he goes down and he starts farming, growing guns apparently. And then as we go through at the end of the episode, Patrick's not feeling well. We find out that something's up with him. He is vomiting or whatever. It feels like he's going to vomit. It feels like he's sick. And then he goes to the shower, basically. He stumbles in there because he's basically dying at this point. And then we see the water. He's taking a shower, and he basically falls over dead. And we can see his eyes as the blood comes down through his eyes, which looks exactly like the walker that Rick sees on the fence that is missing the eyes too. And blood is coming down the eyes too. Now, where the connection is between the two, I'm not quite sure. They show us the walker on the fence twice. So it's as if they're showing it to us for some kind of, a reason to point it out. What that is and what the connection would be between the two, maybe the same thing that killed Patrick, killed that other walker. What it is exactly, man, it's tough to say. On top of those two, in the trailer, one of the trailers, Herschel talks about taking a drink of water and risking your life. He says a bunch of things, but that's one of them. So what exactly does he mean by that? And then you see Carol, and I believe she's taking a drink of water, but then she's running as Rick calls to her. I don't believe just because they're running out of water. I think that the water has somehow become contaminated with something. So what did I do? Well, of course, I looked up the most common types of water bacteria. And just looking through, and it's kind of hard to say. I mean, there's of course E. coli. That's a pretty big one, so that's possible. Maybe just walkers and whatever has infected them or caused them. If they have somehow fallen into a nearby water reservoir or something of the sort, and their blood has contaminated the water, and then when people drink it, take a shower, ingest it, then they become infected with whatever the dead walkers carry, or it ends up killing them. Something of the sort, similar to how when walkers bite people, they will die, or when they scratch them. At least we don't know for sure if scratching does it, but it's been hinted in the past that maybe if they get scratched, that could. But anyway, transfer of saliva, at least we know on a bite, does cause another person to die, basically. Even if they survive, after. The disease or the virus will spread through the saliva, through the blood, and kill the person, and then they'll become a walker afterwards. So kill them more quickly. So in this situation, it sounds a lot like maybe walkers have somehow managed to fall into the water reservoir or something in the water system, causing their blood to be in it and filter through and causing all the water, basically, aside from maybe just rainwater, to be deadly. Now, how does that include the pig? Because what was the pig drinking? You know, we don't know. We never saw it. So maybe they were giving Violet some of the water from their barrels. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but you wouldn't think that rainwater would, you know, cause anything like that. So it could be that the walkers have somehow, their blood has, whatever has happened to them gets in the water and has messed up the water system and spread throughout it like a virus somehow. So that's one thing. The other is E. coli and some of these other, you know, types of water illnesses. There's MSRA, shingleosis, norovirus, all kinds of different types of deadly bacteria that can grow in standing water and in floodwaters and things like that. So it could just be because we know now we've had a 6-month time skip. We had 2 winters, I believe. So we're at least looking at 2.5 years, maybe 3 years into a zombie apocalypse where nobody is maintaining the water system. So you don't have anybody working on it. You don't have anyone at the pumping stations or the plants or whatever that control all these things. So somehow it sounds like to me the water has become contaminated with something. You know, I don't know. There's lots of possibilities. Could be radiation, things like that, I guess. I think water can become contaminated by radiation. Sorry, I'm not too much of a biology, chemistry type guy. So anybody who has more insight, who knows a lot more about this, let's do some speculation. Maybe you can teach me, because this is so specific. It's not something I've really ever, you know, thought about too much before. But I definitely think something with the water has to be doing it. Other possibilities, to me, it's like they were pointing towards it, you know, so it's got to be that. Aside from that, I mean, the food, I mean, it's possible they could have been giving something, but were they feeding? Maybe a deer they killed was bitten by a walker or something like that. It's possible, and the virus got through there from him eating. Because he, you know, one thing about Patrick too is that he did say thanks for catching that deer. Didn't he say that to Daryl? Thanks for catching the deer. So that's another possibility. Maybe the deer was bitten or was infected somehow with the walker virus that they carry when they die, and their saliva got in it, and then maybe Patrick ate too much and it's killed them. Maybe they fed scraps to Violet. It's another possibility, but to me, I think the water is most likely. If anybody else out there, now you guys are a lot more intelligent than me as a whole, your ability to creatively think about what it could be, come up with some theories. Let's talk about it. Let's you know, thumb up each other's good comments, and let's hear what you guys think about what it could be that's causing the infection. Do a video predictions type thing, and do some predictions, and in particular, what is causing them to become infected? When are the characters going to figure it out? And is it the water or is it something else? Anyway, pretty much all I got to say about this one, guys. So I'll call it here. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev, and I'm saying peace.